Your story starts way before you were born. After I had Corey, I was told that the chances of me getting pregnant again was like 0. Yeah, but I met your dad. I began working for a company that covers the cost of in vitro fertilization. And, one day I just called, made the appointment. I didn't even tell your dad I was going to call. He was excited though. He was so excited. We talked about it before, kids, but having one biologically always felt unattainable. You guys were born on October 23rd. Obviously, you know that. And actually, but before the hospital, I went to Taco Bell. I went to Taco Bell when I was in labor because I knew that they wouldn't let me eat when I got up there. And I ate just like a ton of food, like so many tacos. And then I went to the hospital. Sammy was born at 10 and you 8 minutes later. Spiritual leader Dada Vaswani once said, "True love is selflessness. It is prepared to sacrifice." In October of 2001, my mom gave birth to myself and my twin sister. Months later, she was made to do it on her own as she struggled with her husband's drug addiction and year-long absences in a time of financial stress and isolation from loved ones. But our story today is not about the structure of my family, rather how my mom decided to overcome everything through persistence and selflessness. In a recorded conversation with my mom in May of this year, she tells her story. This performance is not made to convince you of some obscure idea, nor is it made to make you stray from social normatives. My mom's story is not rare. What is rare, however, is the love, persistence, and resilience throughout every obstacle. My mom's story is one of strength. May you take that strength beyond the walls of these rooms. And with that, a performative appreciation to the woman that made everything worth it. When I was pregnant, your dad was so excited. Oh, he was just so excited. He was at every appointment. But then he started coming home later. He said it was the stress of having 2 kids. That's what made him change. Not like I had 2 kids or anything, Jim. It's okay. Yeah, but he didn't like sharing me with you too, I guess. He started using heroin. Yeah, and then, pretty soon he was gone for 3 or 4 days at a time. Eventually gone for good. No, I didn't know where he was. No one knew where he was. And, eventually I ended up in the ER being told that I needed emergency surgery not too long after your dad left. And, here I am. I'm a single mom, 2 girls at home. I just started a new job. I need to find a place to live because your dad was gone at this point. So I left the ER and I told the doctor that I'd be back. He warned me not to, but I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I had no one except for you 2. So I found an apartment, a really cute 2-bedroom apartment, and I returned to the ER, have the surgery, and a couple of weeks later, I move us into our new apartment. 1 week later. Yeah. 6 weeks. I was supposed to take 6 weeks off, but I couldn't. I had to move us into our apartment. We needed a place to live. Yeah. I actually ended up in a wheelchair at work because I tore stuff after my surgery. No, I wasn't scared. There was no time to be afraid. I did what I had to do. I was in survival mode. I always tried to hide what I was going through from you guys, but I think you probably figured it out. But there was this one Christmas season that we spent together, just the 3 of us, and I remember thinking, no, I'm not raising my girls like this with no family. So, shortly after the new year, I filed paperwork to move to Wisconsin, where my family was. We lived the next few months knowing that we were restarting. It was freeing. He was mad at the court's ruling, obviously. Yeah, he actually kept trying to take you guys. out of daycare. Every day, the daycare would call, say that he was trying to take you. Every night for months, you two had to sleep in my bed with me because I didn't know what he was going to do. I had to lock the doors. I had to move furniture in front of the doors because I didn't know what he was going to do. But what I did know is that I was not going to risk it. And then that's all I've ever done is fight. I had to fight to get you guys. I had to fight to keep you guys safe. I even had to fight to be pregnant, for Christ's sake. All I've done is fight. I mean, it happened right on your first birthday. You had a really good party too. It was like jungle theme. It was really cool. Yeah. He didn't show up until the last few minutes. He was so wasted. And it was that night, I woke up in the middle of the night to sounds downstairs. And I walked downstairs, I walked outside, and there he was. There your dad was with a bunch of people I'd never met, with strangers. And they were shooting up heroin. So I remember it started to get dangerous for you guys. It was bad. I would find needles everywhere. Needles in the house, needles in the car. And there was one night in particular. Again, I woke up in the middle of the night to sounds downstairs. I walked downstairs. I walk outside. And there your dad was, on the patio, crawling. He was crawling on the ground because he dropped a rock of crack cocaine and he was afraid that you guys would find it. He was afraid. But he wasn't afraid of the hundreds of needles around the house or in the car or the hundreds of people, the dangerous people that he was bringing near his 12-month-old twin fucking daughters. He wasn't afraid. And it was that night. It was that night that I told him that he either had to get clean and give up the drugs or leave. And he left. He left. I didn't know where he was. No one knew where he was for an entire year. No, but raising you, it's been the proudest and the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Now that you're both adults and good people, that's all I've ever wanted, for you to be adults and good people. If I had to say one thing to pass me, buckle up, bitch. What? Okay, fine. Would have told myself to leave, spare myself of all the shit in between. It was so hard. Did I ever tell you about the murder? That's another story for another time. That's fine. No, but when I had the strength to walk away, that was my proudest moment. I was so proud of myself. I still am. So proud. Yeah. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. I will always, no matter what you guys do in life, good or bad, I'll always love you because you're my kids. Just don't do drugs, I'll kick your ass. I'm just so thankful. I am so thankful for you and Sammy for making all of these years happy. So happy, even though some of them weren't. It's funny. You two have gone from being my kids that I'm raising and protecting to protecting me. You guys are my friends now.